just to acknowledge that, yeah, hey, I am paying attention, but that's a lot of typing, and then to try to you can just it just gets your mind boggled. And my wife can keep up with this stuff. You guys know Pauline's all over, commenting on stuff, and she's even on a lot of Facebook pages with the guys that metal detect down in Mexico and stuff like that in these other countries. So she's also translating what they're saying and then sending them, answers or whatever back. And my hat's off to her. I said I'd be an alcoholic if I had to do that all the time. It would drive me crazy. I'd just be drinking all the time. But she goes, "No, you're only allowed to have a beer." All right, fine. So yeah, I just it's one of those things where if somebody asks me a question, I have to try to answer it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
I've been on Facebook, I guess 5 years, and up until about 6 months ago, I only had about 300 and some friends. Now I'm up to 900, I think. But
I'm like 2,400 friends now, and it's like, whew, which is good. I'm glad they.
I never usually ask for friends. They always ask me. And,
yeah.
About 3/4 of them are people at Metal Detector into some form
Right.
of treasure hunting.
Well, if I see somebody on there, you check your comments from people or whatever that they ask for an invite or whatever, and you can click on it, but you always see the ones below it. If I see, I don't know, George Jones on there or something, he has 200 Facebook friends, and he's into metal type, and you can tell by the icon. Oh, I'll put a friend request out to him because maybe he'll like something, on the Facebook page or a post I put up. It'd be interesting to him, whatever. So I click on it. But yeah, I'm with you, Craig. You get a lot of them on there, and it's hard to keep up with them. But Mike was telling me on here on chat here, he was saying if you watch some of Darren's videos, he does a pretty good job of passing bad signals that you can hear it over the video. And yeah, he does have quite a few, and we've actually over the years caught when he was making a video. I've actually messaged him, Darren, what was that signal you had right beside you before you did the test? I never dug it, but you could tell it was good over the video. And then other times you try to make a video where you can try to teach people the sound or the nuance. It's just not, the microphone is not good enough in the camcorder to catch what you're talking about or whatever to make people understand. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. The videos, the visual part of it's really good, but the sound kind of messes you up as far as on a video. But
they're out in big pasture land, and sometimes there's wind and stuff,
Yeah, I've heard those when they go and blow them over or something. But Ohio Relic Hunter says he's been, well, I'm putting this in there, but he's been detecting for so long he tapes a stud finder on the end of a broom handle. That's how long he's been metal detecting. I can imagine somebody trying to do that. Metal detector breaks, they tape their pinpointer on the end of the stick, and of course with ours it actually probably would work for shallow targets. So
well, I guess they got those what is it, a shoe or some shoes with metal detector?
Oh yeah, that novelty item more than anything. But yeah, that guy probably.
I'm like, yeah, right.
The guy probably made millions on that silly thing, but God bless him. I'm glad he made a bunch of money. The shoe metal detector. Never thought he'd get a plastic wagon and tape a coil on the bottom and just walk across the beach pulling it. That'd work too.
Yeah.
You never know.
I think it would be a good idea. Med would make a robot that would accompany you and dig all your holes for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Retrieve the targets.
That's right. That'd be helpful.
Blissful robot.
The Blissful backhoe.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
I
wouldn't put it past him, man. This guy, some of his prototypes and stuff for stuff, other than metal detecting, just blow your mind. I can't remember the name of his robotics company, but man, I tell you, he developed some intense stuff. What's that, Craig?
Cooperton, I think it is, or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, he was showing me some of the prototype stuff he has coming out in the next, whenever. it's hideously detailed. The movement on the hands and arms and stuff it's mind-boggling how realistic
I've
it
seen a
can
little bit
be.
of it. It's looks like Terminator robots.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean
just totally human looking.
the electronics in
Weird,
them.
except they're metal.
Yeah, well, I mean the electronics part of it, the computer chips and all this stuff they put in these things. Man, I tell you, it's hard to tell where it will lead in the next 20 years. I mean, some of the stuff he's doing now, if it becomes reality, it's going to blow your mind. This guy is so smart about stuff like that. But I've said it before. I mean, he can strip one of these things down to nothing in like maybe 5 minutes, put it all back together again. It's like nothing to him. Of course, that's what he invented it, so he knows what he's doing. It took me, I think he kind of got aggravated with me a couple times when I first started working on these things over there because I was trying to get my mind wrapped around it. I'm one of those, if you show me something, I'll remember it. You know what I mean? I'll remember how to do it. But it just takes me a few minutes, and I think he was patient, but it was like, I get it, Ahmed, I get it. I'll figure it out. And I'm making all these notes and stuff like that because I don't want to forget it. I have a bad memory as it is. So I'm writing everything down and, videoing but it stuck with me pretty good. Everybody has their own way of learning stuff. So,
Well, once you do it a few times, then it comes easier. But
yeah,
it's like teaching an old dog a new trick.
yeah. Well, it gets confusing when you're using a oscilloscope and two multimeters and you're watching all the stuff and all these levels and I get a headache, man. I can fix the stuff. It just he could probably have it fixed in 2 minutes. It takes me an hour, but I'm doing it right. I'm doing it, making sure everything's proper.
My dad and my brother were, both scientists. And, it was like nothing they couldn't fix. My brother's amazing. He can take apart, these, like a watch, and just have all the gears sitting there, and then half an hour, 45 minutes later, it's all put back together and running fine.
I can do that, but the rest of the watch would be in the garbage can. Or if I did do it, I'd have 5 extra parts. But it would still work. I wouldn't have those extra parts, so.
I would have never even opened it up.
Yeah. If you were talking like a small gas engine and stuff, or an engine from the 70s or 80s, I could probably do, strip it down, rebuild it, whatever. But this new stuff, I don't know, these car engines and even my diesel I have, man, I tell you, I look at that thing going, oh my God, I wouldn't even know. I mean, the oil filter's on top of the engine, for God's sake, on this diesel engine, which is probably normal. I drove semis, they weren't on the top of the engine like this, but at any rate, yeah, I just never thought of a oil filter being on top of the motor. It's always been on the bottom on all the unleaded vehicles I have, so it's a learning experience for that too, so. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I mentioned it earlier with the extended warranties that we have on these V3s. If there are guys listening that have had their V3 for a couple years and they want to get the extended warranty, it's only good until you only can get it up until July 28th. And I gave the price. It's like $148, but you just have to send me the machine. I put a brand new battery in it. No matter if your battery's good or not, just put a brand new battery in it. 41 points on there. I check as far as the circuitry, the milliamps it's putting out, this and that. All the knobs and everything are gone through because they do have bearings in these knobs inside, where they rotate. Sometimes they get a dirt particle in there or something. The bearing might wear out. I replace knobs or whatever it needs essentially, and you get it, the whole thing plus shipping, or including shipping, for $148, and it's good for 18 more months. So if you're getting to the end of your warranty on your V3 and you want to, go ahead and go that route and have that extra coverage, you can do it up until the 28th of this month. So just give me a buzz and I'll explain in more detail what it includes and stuff. But it's well worth it. I've done it for, I don't know, at least a dozen people already. And, some of these detectors they're buying them brand new from another distributor that had overstock. But they haven't maintained the batteries. So they haven't charged them up once a month or once every, they've been sitting on a shelf for a year or something like that. I'm just guessing on the amount of time, but the batteries are gone, so they need new batteries in them. So, if that happens to you, don't, freak out real bad. Just give me a call. I can tell you within just by what you're describing, what the problem is more than like it's probably the battery. And I put a brand new one in there and everything. And life is good again. It'll work for you. I actually had a guy that had his for 3 months and just didn't use it. Craig, and he was telling me, he goes, oh, no, I can't get the thing stable. It won't stable no matter what. Well, it turns out that he bought it used, but somebody had charged it up wrong or something, and it threw one of the safeties in it. So he was pretty, I didn't even charge him for it, except for shipping. I just fixed it up for him, sent it back. He was happy, Oh, God, it's totally different. I said, yeah, it works now. So stuff happens, and sometimes people sell stuff that's not the best. Other times they don't even know it. It could have, something weird could have happened. But the biggest thing is, remember, is don't freak out. Call me first before you do anything drastic. Probably can fix it for, a lot of times for pretty low price. So don't worry about that. Kind of got off on a tangent again.
Try to, charge up my V3 and V5 about, once a month.
Yeah.
But I noticed the V3 took maybe an hour longer than the V5. But,
yeah, my V3 still has the original battery in it from 2012. It does take it right at 3 hours to charge up. But, hey, it's 4 years old. I mean, it's never had a new battery put in it, so it still works fine. But, I also have the ability to be able to put the battery in 15 minutes or whatever, and so I don't really worry about it. Just let them go all the way down. But that one that, I'm trying to remember who traded it in, but they traded it in, and, the battery went, and I fixed it up. It's still running good, too. And that's been a while ago also. The batteries last a long time. Just try to maintain them once a month, especially through the summer and the winter, when you're not hunting in the summer and when it's too cold outside in the winter. Just put them on once a month, let them charge up. Usually it doesn't take but an hour. So.
Well, with me, I'm not using the 3 or the 5, but I want to keep them in running order.
Yeah.
But I love the 5, but, now that I'm, getting down on this V6, that thing's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And Mike was on. You're talking about when Pauline was hunting with me. Did she bring your water and lunch too? I said, no, she didn't bring me no water and lunch. So I go to pass up a target that I know it's junk, and I have to dig it when she's there, so I don't like to have her around. She collects this metal stuff and she decides what she wants to look like, and I have to weld it and stuff to make it. If it's metal or whatever, or glue it. She comes up with the ideas, and it makes more work for me. I don't mind doing it once in a while, but I got too many other things to do sometimes. So a lot of the future projects are in bins right now. All the horseshoes and everything else she collects over the years. So, if anything else, I'll make a ton of money on scrap metal, right?
Yeah, right.
I think I brought back 30 or 40 pounds of metal from the DIPA hunt. So all the guys were giving her something. I thought, oh, thanks, guys. Just give her some more stuff I have to haul back to Florida. And she goes, but it's colonial junk. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Junk is junk sometimes. So,
yeah, really.
Yeah, whatever makes a wife happy. Happy wife, happy life, so.
Yeah, it's like, the first time you dig a horseshoe, oh, wow, look at this, a horseshoe. And then after you dig about 20 or 30 of them, I just stick them on a tree limb.
Yeah, these guys are all over chat. Yeah, half the gas miles going home. I know you're right, brother. Try haul that 8,000-pound camper and let's add some more weight to that bad boy. God. That surprised me. That truck we got, I tell you what, the thing is a workhorse. I pulled some pretty big hills when I was up in the first trip to coming over to see you from Ohio, Craig. Man, we were pulling some state roads, some big old hills, and that truck. I mean, you didn't make it up fast, but it just stuck with it. Never overheated, never did anything wrong. I'm like, jeez. If you had an unleaded one, they'd probably still do it, but you'd have to be real careful with it. Those engines are a lot different between an unleaded engine and diesel engine. But she's not the fastest truck in the world, but by God, she's tough. So, The only thing I ever had a problem with this truck is the diesel engine. Put it this way: your normal, I think your normal unleaded engine probably takes about 6 quarts of oil.